Girl, let's get real. Some pads are just diapers with a good PR team, but not the new Kotex BioCare. That's because Kotex BioCare helps defend against odor and irritants. And it's the first and only pad with this pH proactive system that helps optimize the pad's pH. Just think of it as self-care for down there. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the all-new Kotex, completely redesigned to meet your needs. You asked, we heard.
Let's go. This is now officially the Keith McPherson Show. Act like you know. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. How we sounding? Am I coming in too hot? Mic's good. Camera's good. We're in here. Shout out to Nexus Studio, Nexus TV Plus, my guy Rick. Quickly setting us up for this transition, this quick rebrand. I know a lot of you have been watching Mic Check. I don't want to get too deep into Mic Check, but the sun has set on that, and we are now into infinity and beyond as just my namesake, Keith McPherson and the Keith McPherson Show. So without further ado, in this intro, I have to introduce my guest who was gracious enough to come downtown to New York City in the heat wave after the Yankees lose in 11 innings to join us, none other than internet sensation, microphone man himself, content creator, storyteller. You see this guy in every stadium. You see him with the Knicks. You see him with the Yankees, the Rangers. You see him on red carpets. It's Alex Day in the building.
Chief Keith,
Yo.
How are we doing?
I'm good.
Wow,
man.
we have the applause too. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Keith, we've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes just saying save it for the show, because anytime we do a show together, we're about to just start jumping in and talking to it. So I'm excited for this. And I'm excited for you. Episode 1, Keith McPherson Show. I'm honored to be the first guest. So honored that I'm hitting the mic over. But
all good.
Hype for you, man.
Yeah, you know what? In this podcast, radio, YouTube game, and let me take the shades off now that we're in here, you know, it is about just showing up. It's about consistency. It's about creating content. It's about giving your takes and thoughts and opinions and being available for people to find you, right? So I wanted to be more available and in a different way. A lot of you have been watching me do my Mic Check show from the home studio. We are now going to vet out a few different studios. This is the first one. Let's get into it with Alex, who joins us. If you don't know Alex, I'll ask him a couple questions to kind of set the stage, and then we're going to get right into the breaking news in the NBA. If you did not see, Jaylen Brown traded from the Celtics to the Philadelphia 76ers. Paul George, first-round pick, second-round picks, but anyway, my first-round pick, Alex Day, on my first show ever here and my first ever Keith McPherson show. This is a moment in time. Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
Please tell people about your upbringing, being an athlete, watching sports, how you got started, hit them with the college stuff. I know all the story, but basically tell people how you got here from like high school, college to today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in New York. I grew up a diehard New York sports fan. My dad's diehard New York sports fan. And, you know, from as early as I can remember, whether it's the Subway Series or Messier with the Rangers or the Giants losing in the Super Bowl to the Ravens, those are some of my earliest New York sports memories. But growing up, I kind of had two dreams. Either I wanted to be shortstop of the Yankees or I wanted to be like Chris Berman or Stuart Scott. I realized in college, I'm not going to be Derek Jeter. I'm not going to be the shortstop of the Yankees. But luckily, I'm doing broadcast. I went to school for broadcast, and that's always been the dream of mine. So I worked in production for 4 years. I got laid off during COVID, and then I started creating content. So the last 5-6 years has been an awesome journey of creating content online while getting opportunities in the traditional media space. I worked for Overtime for 3 years. That's where a lot of people really saw the beginning of my career. I do a lot with the Yes Network now, but bounce around, whether it's doing stuff with the New York Giants or MLB Network, or, you know, doing just honestly a lot of Instagram and TikTok. So covering New York sports is what I'm all about. And then I'll interview athletes and fans of all across the country. So yeah, it's kind of the skinny on me, but we've done a couple shows together. We've done some live shows together. We've done some WFAN together. We're just friends in general, so I'm honored to be the first round pick today.
It works for me. I think the world of the guy. I think he's smart, talented, good looking. I think I'm smart, talented, and good looking. You put the two of us together, it's a great combo.
Wow, the horn is queued up.
Yeah.
Episode 1, wasting no time.
I hit the air horn right away.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it, man. Breaking news in the NBA.
Drum roll, please.
Jaylen Brown traded from the I wish. I'm looking at Cleveland because I'm looking at Harden in my notes. The Boston Celtics to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, sources tell ESPN. Now, question for you, right? We know he was dangled out there for Giannis in the Giannis trade. Did you even have the Sixers in your possible teams to trade for him? And what do you think this does for their chances in the East?
I did not expect the Sixers to make a move for Brown. I did not see that coming at all. Boston got worse today. To me, my gut instinct when I hear that return is that is a fleecing for Philly, who now gets to pair that backcourt of Maxey and VJ Edgecombe with a unbelievable wing in Jaylen Brown. We're talking about a guy who, at worst, is a top 15 player in the league. Last year played like a top 10 player in the league. Boston adds Mitch today, which breaks my heart, and we'll get to that. But then they lose Jaylen Brown. So, yes, they got Paul George. How many games can you rely on and count on from Paul George next year? Boston got worse today. Philly got better. I still don't think Philly is a contender. Philly definitely got a whole lot scarier, in my opinion. And I'm surprised that Boston did this. Look, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube. They made a very real offer, Jaylen Brown for Giannis. I think that's fair. I think Jaylen Brown should understand if you go out and make some of the comments he made after the season and Giannis is available, you may get dangled. But I think once it came public that they were looking to shop him, I think he had checked out and it was time for him to leave. So it's been a crazy couple weeks for Boston. I think where Boston really messed up in this, if you're going to offer Jaylen Brown for Giannis, you have to offer enough that trade happens. That's, in my opinion, where Boston really went wrong.
Yeah, I think they felt like they did, but then when you saw what the Heat put up, it's like, nah, that's an obvious move for the Heat. So let's go there, too, and I'll go back to it. So the Miami Heat traded for Giannis, and then once you dangle Jaylen Brown out there, the relationship is over. And then this whole week there was talk about analytics and people trying to minimize the impact that Jaylen Brown had. Jaylen Brown played like an MVP. He carried that team without Tatum. But here's the thing. There was no going back on either side. They were trying to trade him, and then we remember his comments too, right? He said this is the best season he ever had. A season where they get bounced in the first round.
That's a crazy thing to say.
A season where Tatum is not there. You just won the championship 2 years ago, and this is the best season of your life? Just being the A1 guy. He wants to be the A1 guy. Now, here's the next thing. He's not necessarily the A1 guy in Philly now. How is this going to work? Maxey, I think, is the main guy there, but he came up small against your Knicks. Embiid should be the main guy there, but he's injury prone. Their top draft pick in VJ Edgecombe is going to be ascending in his second year. There's only one basketball. I don't know how they make this work, but I know this is Philly making a push to go and attack the New York Knicks. I'll let you get some words in, and then we will kind of move on to the New York Knicks.
I think as far as Jaylen Brown goes, how often do you see guys have their own team now? And by the way, Boston was really good last year. He was the main guy. They were a really good team. They couldn't get through the Knicks. I don't know. I think the days of having your own team are kind of over unless you are one of the top 5 players. He thinks he is. Look, this was a great move. I think Philly is a winner. I think Boston is a loser. And I think Jaylen Brown, I think, is a winner in all this. Although what he ultimately wanted is his own team. And as you mentioned, he doesn't get that either. He'll get another chance on a contending team to win another title. But I'm not sure if that was his number one motive
He
based
already
on
won
how
a
the season ended.
championship.
Correct.
He's not trying to be a role player. He's not trying to defer to
me,
anybody.
it feels so obvious that this is a win for him because he gets to be a key component on a championship caliber, on a contending team. But I don't think that's what he wants.
No, I think he just wants to be the man. I think he wants to be the guy. And now he's with 2-3 other guys. We'll see how.
Do you think he would have rather gone to like Charlotte or Philly?
I think he would have rather gone to Charlotte, but they have two guys too, in Brandon Miller and Con Knipple.
Yeah, but if Jaylen Brown goes to a team like Charlotte, he's the
veteran. He's the guy coming in. But even coming in as the guy with a ring and some seniority, like Maxi's going to have the ball, Embiid is going to have the ball. How are they? I don't know. Maybe they're making another move here, but I just think that was just pushing your chips all the way in. Trust the process. The process is still processing. We got to do something right now. Here, timeout. We do have to do something right now. Call in. If you want to join via the phone, you can call in at 646-807-2992. It's in the YouTube chat. People will hear this on podcast later. You won't be able to call in. But if you're in the YouTube chat watching right now and you want to tap in on the phone, it's 646-807-2992. If you want to get a word in on Jaylen Brown, I'm going to transition into Mitchell Robinson. Speaking of the Celtics and Jaylen Brown leaving the Celtics, earlier I had the thought, I'm like, okay, the Celtics are going to try and mend relationships. They're going to try and mend fences. They're bringing in Mitchell Robinson, and I just saw that clip of Mitchell Robinson as he defended all 5 guys on the floor against the Celtics. It shows him rotating to stop all 5 guys, and then ultimately he takes the ball from Mitchell Robinson or from Jaylen Brown, and then fast forward some hours later, we see Mitchell Robinson is a Celtic. Here's what he wrote, and then I'm going to go to you as a Knicks fan, rocking your Knicks championship merch. It's all around here in the city. I've
been wearing just a carousel of Knicks merch for really the last 2 months. Every day, it's not what shirt am I going to wear, it's what Knicks shirt am I going to wear.
And keep buying it and keep repping it. It's something you may never see again, and you got it, and you should be happy and proud of it. We'll get to it.
And we are a second apron away from it.
That's exactly where I'm going. So now with Jose Alvarado coming back, Landry Shamet coming back and taking less money, as we saw that. I mean, this is New York. They're getting
both pretty team-friendly deals.
They're getting they're making these team-friendly deals because they want to stay and be kings of New York. Both of those guys are making appearances and getting appearance money. They're going to be at Fanatics Fest getting the bag, and then they're going to have a bunch of different brand deals. So Mitchell Robinson, the money that he got, the Knicks could have matched, but they do not want to go over that second apron. And I get it, but at the same time, I don't, because you can't replace Mitchell Robinson. You can, but him as a defender, even as a personality, free agent center Mitchell Robinson has agreed to a 3-year, $47.4 million deal to sign with the Boston Celtics. And it hurts because it's your arch rival. The Nets are not your arch rival. The Boston Celtics are the Knicks' arch rival. The Garden versus the fake Garden and TD Garden.
Facts.
What did you think today when you saw one of your key role players, bench players, the longest tenured Knick, is going to ship up to Boston and join the parquet floors and Lucky the Leprechaun?
Emotionally, this hurt. Mitch leaving hurts. Him going to Boston hurts even more. Shades of Saquon going to Philly, honestly. But something you just said that I'm going to push back on, because I agree with you. I think the Knicks do feel that Mitch is replaceable, because if there was ever a time to go into the second apron, it's now. The second apron does 2 things. It costs you more money, but I don't want to hear it because the Knicks just made a ton of money during the playoffs.
Absolutely.
James Dolan has billions of dollars. He's got the Sphere, MSG, the Rangers, the Knicks. And then it limits your roster flexibility. The Knicks don't need roster flexibility right now. The Knicks have their team. These guys are locked in. They're going to try to, of course, work on an extension for Cat. This was the time to go in the second apron. I think they use the second apron as an excuse for not wanting to pay a backup center $15 million, and they feel Mitch is replaceable, which I disagree with. Now, you could easily poke holes in Mitch's game. He doesn't really play back-to-backs. He has the injury history. He's like a 30% free throw shooter. He can't really have the ball in his hands, but at the same time, he's the best offensive rebounder in the game. He's phenomenal on defense. He's great in the pick and roll with Jaylen. He's great in the pick and roll, defending the pick and roll. He's the longest tenured Knick. He understands the culture and the buy-in, and he's part of it. They feel he's replaceable.
He's got an awesome truck.
Awesome, like 8 trucks. Hey, those trucks aren't going to fit on those streets in Boston. On those cobblestone streets, those are not fitting. I'm bummed about it. I'm even more bummed he went to Boston. I really think this would have been the time to go into the second apron, and I'm surprised they didn't.
Bing bong.
I had to hit the bing bong for you. So I'll say this. I mean, I don't think he's replaceable as far as what he does, but I do think you can find a better offensive center. You also lost. Why am I blanking now? Diawara.
Huckporty.
Ariel Huckporty. Diawara was like the first guy to come back.
Correct.
Ariel Huckporty went to the 76ers.
I was fine with that.
Well, that's another big that you lose, and then he will join.
Anytime he came in, he was lost, respectfully.
Yeah, so it was time to go, but then where do they go? I don't know what is the move, and I guess we don't have to know. They're the champions. If Karl Anthony Towns takes a step forward, as he said, I saw his video, he said he wants to get better this offseason. If he's healthy, that's not something they got to worry about too much, but it's tough. It's so hard to say goodbye. Here's what Mitchell Robinson had to say on his way out. He said, life a climb, but views great. New York Knicks fans and the whole Knicks organization this past 8 years have been the highlight of my life. I can't thank you guys enough for the journey and opportunities. I know it's a lot of emotions going around. Trust me, I feel it myself, but I will always have love for where it all started. I love you, and we'll miss you. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Knicks in 5. I threw in the Knicks in 5 part.
It'll always be Knicks. And Knicks in 5 is in New York is now like what Roll Tide is in Alabama. Like, hey, you leave the store, you say Roll Tide to someone. I've never been to Alabama, but I just imagine that's how it go. We don't say that around here, around these parts.
It's equivalent to Roll Tide. Go Birds. How about them Cowboys? How about them? Like,
it'll now be phrases. Knicks in 5 until the end of time. Anytime you're leaving somewhere, it's Knicks in 5. Look, the fact it went to Boston, I don't know if I'll ever get over that. And I do think he's someone that I could easily see coming back to New York, kind of like a DiVincenzo, where I just have this feeling before all said and done, they'll be back in New York. There have been talks about Andre Drummond being linked to the Knicks. That's interesting to me. Marvin Bagley as well. Look, what's really amazing about this situation with the Knicks is that there is full trust in Leon Rose. You have to trust Leon. He is batting almost 1,000, and anytime he misses, he makes up for it with another move that also works out. Oh, we're going to sign Yabusele. That doesn't work out. We're basically going to flip him for Alvarado. I trust Leon fully. So today was not a great day to be a Knicks fan, but amongst the best year ever being a Knicks fan, we'll take it.
Okay, last thing on the Knicks. How shook are you as a Knicks fan to have to deal with Keon Ellis and Mo Wagner? The Brooklyn Nets have signed Keon Ellis and Mo Wagner so far, on top of trading for Julius Randle. They brought back Josh Minott. They got a couple other guys. Like, Brooklyn is here, and that losing streak's going to end, and they're going to have something to say about who runs the city.
I think you turned into a 25-win team, which means that you now have the chance of winning on any given night, which you didn't last year.
Oh, man.
How do you feel? You're the Nets fan. That's how you feel.
It's quiet for us, bro. It's so quiet for us. I'm just like, okay, let Marks cook. What is Marks going to cook?
I can't believe he's still there. What the fuck? Isn't it shocking he's still there?
Yeah, I would have got rid of him after the Ben Simmons move.
Right.
That is what broke me. When they actually accepted a trade for Ben Simmons, knowing what Ben Simmons wasn't, speaking of Philly, like, you watched that whole saga right down the road in Philly, and you said, yeah, we'll do the trade.
One man's trash is another man's trash.
Anywho, the number to dial, again, if you guys are in the chat. Shout out to the people in the YouTube chat. I want to do a quick tap in with the YouTube chat. I see you guys there. The number to dial is 646-807-2992 if you disagree with anything that I've had to say or anything that Day has had to say. Shout out to Pam, early gang. This date and time was in here. He said, welcome to the new era of radio. In a way, YouTube. Ray Condi in here. Shout out to my guy Ray, Dane, H&L Dre. Your H&L Dre said, how do I become a sponsor? That's a good time to plug. Like this show. This show will eventually have sponsors and advertisers and people that I'll say, this segment coming up in the next couple minutes, MLB Talk, is brought to you by McPherson brand LLC.
Show off the shirts, by the way.
Yeah, even the.
Oh yeah. Let it be known. You just wanted a chance to flex.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a great logo.
You don't pick up all them weights to not. So yeah, this is my little praying hands lightning bolt logo. If you've ever seen me text and post online, I've always done the praying hands emoji and the lightning bolt. This is a little side profile of it on the tees, available on McPhersonbrand.com. I'll start pushing that stuff, but it took a while. I wanted to get a good tee that fit like a muscle shirt, a good quality tee, and I had to get the printing right. Where this is, I think this is DTF. Not the DTF you know of, but the DTF printing.
What DTF was that?
DTF, like, pause.
You have these sound effects queued up. You chose them very wisely.
So, if you guys look at the description after this, it'll say McPhersonbrand.com. When you go there, check out the merch. The KM to AM shirts are there. This shirt is there. And there's a bunch of other stuff there. Let's keep it rolling, though. We started off with the NBA, and we got to continue with the NBA. And these are going to be quick so that we can get to Major League Baseball and talk about the Stankies, the June swoon. It's June 31st. We got an extra day in June. Yankee fans, baseball fans, Met fans. We'll get to that in the next couple minutes, but I got to go just quick thoughts here on each of these moves. So, James Harden declined his $42.3 million player option, but they're going to actually sign him. Like, he's going to stay with Donovan Mitchell in the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Amazing. By the way, my analysis on these moves are mostly through the lens of the Knicks. The Cavs don't scare me. They don't scare me until further notice. I like Donovan Mitchell. James Harden. What's James Harden? A good regular season player? He's a Hall of Famer. He can't win the big one. And until further notice, I'm not scared.
Yeah, he's cooked, if you ask me. I will never forget sitting in my living room watching the Knicks come back from down 22 before they came back from 29. But that first game after they had all that rest, and I just knew, Brunson is the Brunson burner's on. He's about to cook Harden, and Harden could not stop him. I don't know if anybody could have stopped him. Of course you were there.
I was there.
I don't doubt that you were there. Now,
although I went to one finals game, that was game 3, not game 4, so I swung and missed.
Yeah,
on that
the
one.
vibes were completely off for that game.
Yes.
We all know why, but we won't get into it. How about John Morant? John Morant going to Portland. Like, you want to talk about almost like NBA Siberia. They shipped him off to the West Side. He's going to play with Damian Lillard. Do you think that they'll have something to say? Remember, he said, I'm good in the West. Now he's actually in the West.
First of all, he needed to get out of Memphis, and he needed a change of scenery from whoever he's been hanging out with, because whoever he's been hanging out with has been giving him bad advice. Here's what I want to know about John Morant. Like, what is his game? Because his game used to be going recklessly to the rim, jumping out of the gym, and throwing poster dunks. I don't remember him dunking in the last 2 years. He's a bad shooter. He doesn't seem like much of a leader. He's 26. Is he just going to be like a six-man Lou Will type? Maybe that's his future. It's just an all-time bag fumble by a guy who had the world in the palm of his hands. Insane fall from grace. One of the biggest falls from grace at such an early stage of his career as like any athlete I can remember in any sport. And that sounds crazy, but he's only 26. This guy has a signature shoe.
Yeah.
He was a top 3 pick. I mean, it has gone really wrong really quickly, and the finger guns better be over.
Yeah. The only saving grace he has is that he's young, and Zion is nothing too. So it's like,
but Zion isn't nothing.
Zion's not winning anything, and Zion, like, if you're talking about problem,
but if you're talking about Zion, it starts with injuries. That's where it has
available. I mean, and neither is Ja.
Yeah, but when Zion's on the floor, Zion's great.
We'll see. They're still very, very young. We'll move on. We're wasting too much time on John Morant. Norman Powell. How about Norman Powell? He's an all-star last year with Miami. He enters free agency. He signs a 2-year, $45 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls are sneaky putting together some talent.
No.
Okay.
The Chicago Bulls?
Yeah.
Okay, in the words of Shrek, you and what army? Like,
they're putting together a little
Norman
squad.
Powell and who? Who?
Nick Claxton, Caleb Wilson.
I'm not worried. I mean, this isn't a top 8 team in the East.
Okay. I mean, a top 8 team in the East, you're saying that they won't be a playoff
This
team.
is a non-playoff team in the worst of the two conferences.
I don't know. They had a couple little runs last year. I think they could be trending up. I like the moves.
I bet
in
you the
offseason.
Wizards finished with a better record than the Bulls.
Speaking of the Wizards, a report came out about Anthony Davis and LeBron, and that'll be the last of the NBA talk. We'll throw up a break and a slate, and then we'll get into the MLB talk. Again, if you want to talk to us, just dial in 646-807-2992. Last in the NBA talk. The Warriors are attempting to trade with the Wizards for Anthony Davis and then sign free agent LeBron James, sources say. Golden State hopes to add Davis and LeBron. Now, we'll talk about AD, Anthony Data Davis, and then also LeBron. But give me your thoughts on Anthony Davis, who's MIA.
I want this to happen.
I want it to happen, too.
I think this would be really fun because if all these guys are on separate teams, they're just going to kind of go off into the abyss. Like the Warriors don't really have that much other than Steph, of course, and Draymond. LeBron doesn't know what team he's going to be on. I don't want to see AD on the Wizards. That's a sight for sore eyes. I want to see all these guys team up for a 40-plus mega team. Will it work? Probably not, but I'm here for just seeing what that looks like. And in case they can do enough to make the playoffs and all be healthy during the playoffs, seeing LeBron and Steph on the floor, even at 38, 40, 42-hour-old they are, I'm here for that.
Okay, and last but not least, LeBron James. Bron, the king. I love the move that LeBron James pulled because he waited till his son Bronny was signed, sealed, delivered, got his thing all set up, and then he said, I'm good, love, enjoy. I'm going to go my own way. Remember, I'm the king. Remember what I've done for you. Y'all figure it out with Luka and Austin Reeves and Walker Kessler and whatever else you guys want to do in LA.
He got $2.3 million?
For Bronny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he's not terrible.
No, he's not.
I was killing him when he first came in the league.
He's definitely not
He doesn't belong.
I'm killing the Lakers, not him.
No, he took a step forward where like that. I could see that. I could see that 2.3 million, and especially it's bigger than just his skill set on the floor. He does sell tickets. He does have millions of followers and fans because he's Bronny James. Like you can put him in the summer league. And people are going to show up to these summer league games. So
I'm surprised
I get the
he's
value.
not going to Golden State.
No. Let him. Now it's time, stay here in LA.
Spread your wings.
Not even spread your wings. He's probably going to still live in his dad's crib. His dad's going to dip off and go somewhere. But, go ahead. Do your thing without your pops at practice with you. Grow up in the league and really fight and show who you are and become. But now, LeBron, where do you want to see LeBron go? I'll start. I would like to see him join the Golden State Warriors. I would like to see
by far my number one pick.
Old guys try to, give it the one last time. But he says he wants happiness, and he says he wants, somewhere that he can compete. And the money isn't whatever. Obviously, he's an active billionaire basketball player. But the other two options, I don't want to see him go back to Miami.
No.
And I understand if he potentially went back to Cleveland again to close the full circle.
I think that'd be embarrassing for them.
But I think that's it's like you guys were just in the Eastern Conference
Finals. How many times are you going to take him back?
You got to go back to LeBron. Go for it.
We all have that friend who has broken up with their girlfriend a couple times, and they keep getting back together. Then it eventually becomes old news. That's what that would be. That would be old news. And by the way, every time that couple gets back together, that I guarantee you that girl's friends are saying, this is a bad look. Yep. Every time he keeps breaking up with you and you keep taking him back.
Temporary, not for long.
It's just not a good look. Can I throw some others out?
Yeah, other teams.
How about Denver?
I saw that's a dark horse team, the Denver Nuggets. Him and Jokic would be serious.
I mean, the brain power on that, and they've got a point guard. You can't rely on Aaron Gordon. I've seen people throw out Minnesota. The visual of LeBron playing in Minnesota, not computing. I just can't.
Minnesota, no. And even Minnesota with LaMelo Ball and Ant-Man, they're going to be hilarious. Their post games and even in the game.
LeBron doesn't want to deal with that.
Those two, they're going to be staticky. I don't see those two working. I don't see those two working.
I'm excited to find out.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna see. I don't think that even with Rudy Gobert, I don't think that's gonna mesh. Jaden McDaniels, and I know they traded. How about the Hornets? The Hornets getting rid of LaMelo and Miles Bridges. They're cleaning their act up. They're like, we're good. We got close last year. We're gonna go with our quality, good people, and you guys can hit the bricks.
By the way, of course, the main story is going to be getting rid of those two because those guys were stalwarts in Charlotte, but they have a bunch of great three-point shooters now to go along with Khan. I kind of like what they're building. Like, they've got a great point guard, and they're going to be able to space the floor like crazy. Shocking they got out of the LaMelo business. Happy for them they got out of the Miles Bridges business. If you're a Hornets fan, it has to be a little sickening that you have the best season in 10 years. Now we're going to blow it up. But I think come the season, they're going to be glad they did.
It's the Keith McPherson Show.
Okay, there it is. So we're going to hit a quick break, literally quick, just a quick slate to kind of transition us here into Major League Baseball talk. Again, if you want to call 646-807-2992. If you want to talk to me, if you want to talk today, to talk to Alex Day today. That is the NBA conversation. We kind of hit on free agency, some of the big moves, things with the Knicks, things with the Celtics, the Sixers, the Heat, LeBron. And there's still more things happening, more things going on. But we have to talk about the New York Yankees. So let's hit this quick slate, and we'll be right back.
It's the Keith McPherson Show. It's the Keith McPherson Show.
Just that quickly. That's just a quick transition right there to now get into Major League Baseball talk. Let's start off with this. Are we locking out? Are you expecting a lockout? I wasn't. I mean, a couple months ago, because they were getting started early, I was optimistic. I'm like, oh, look, these guys are getting started as soon as baseball starts on some offers and some. But as we've seen more leak out as far as what the owners want, and what we know the players are not agreeing to, we're guaranteed to lock out on December 1st. What I think now is there's no way through the holidays of Christmas and New Year, and then starting back up in January, there's no way that spring training starts on time. And then once that gets pushed, these guys can't just ramp up for opening day in late March. I think we're going to see a work stoppage. I think it's a lock at this point.
It's just about a lock that we're missing games, which just sucks to say. I mean, we're talking about next season in July this year when we should be talking about this season. We should be talking about how many young stars there are. We should be talking about the Yankees. We should be talking about how a lot of these rule changes have made the game that much more fun and attendance is up. Instead, it's just about a 100% chance that we will be missing games. So, yeah, it sucks. Baseball has a way of not being able to get out of its own way. And this feels like it's all coming to a head. And there's a lot of specifics on salary cap versus salary floor. And I'm sure a lot of you have already read about it. But the fact that it feels like the players are not as aligned, they are not as cohesive as the owners are right now. And especially when you consider the fact that Tony Clark, the head of the players union, gets the boot at just about the worst time, right in the middle of negotiations. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And I would prefer if we were just talking about this season, but here we are. Baseball can't get out of its own way.
I'll say this. Bruce Meyer is coming in to replace Tony Clark, and he's known as like a pit bull, bulldog, as a tough negotiator, and he's already doing media stuff. He's already hitting podcasts and talking about things. The Players Association is to fight for players to make as much money as they can in the future. They're not giving in to I think one of the things proposed, and granted it's negotiations, they're going to start with a ridiculous number and then they're going to get to somewhere. So I think they started with a ridiculous number that the max contract you can make is 5 years if you're staying with the team, or 5 years with a new team, 6 years if you're staying with the team, or maybe it's the other way around. I started reading it and I'm like, I don't want to even get into it yet. The players are never going for that. Juan Soto signed a 15-year deal. He had a 16-year deal on the table. That is what the players want. They want the players to come after them to be able to maximize their talents and make the most money possible. So what I'm saying is they're starting there. Maybe that number gets to 10 or 11 or 12. but I still don't think the players are going to go for it. Juan Soto was a one-of-one, like a free agent that had already won a World Series, had a bunch of accolades, and was entering free agency at 26, where you even could offer him a deal like that to, play till he's 40, 41. I just don't think that. I don't think there's a way for them to meet in the middle, and I don't know who folds first. And I think it's the owners will fold on that 5-6 years, or even if it's like 10 or that's something that I don't think will trip them up. I think the players are going to stand pat on that.
I think the bigger question is, will there be a salary cap? Now, I'm always in favor of the players, not the owners, because we watch because of the players. We don't watch because of the owners, right? That's just, I'm a players guy. With that being said, every single other league has a salary cap.
Yep.
You can understand it from the owner's perspective. Hey, NBA, NFL, NHL, all have a salary cap. Something's not right here. So I do understand that standpoint, but then there's a whole domino effect from there of the rev share amongst, and then you're talking about the TV deal. There's so many layers to this. It has to be one of the most complicated negotiations in sports.
And that's
history.
why I'm saying it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And as we're talking about this salary cap, salary floor, whatever, and I forget the numbers that they proposed for a floor for a cap.
Only like 8 teams would fall in between
There's
that window
so much
right
that
now.
has to change with the current deals and modern day Major League Baseball. And the team that we have to look at is at the top, the back-to-back champions, the Dodgers, right? And when you talk about TV deals, they have a one-on-one TV deal. When you talk about their salary, they have the highest payroll and they have billions in deferred money to build their team. They have created a loophole that has to be destroyed. And not for nothing, as we get into more of the baseball conversation, they look like the best team in baseball. They look like they're poised to win their 3rd World Series.
And they're hurt.
And they don't even have their full complement of guys. And it's not the trade deadline yet. Dare I say they get back Snell and Glass now and trade for Skubal, then why is anybody even showing up to the postseason?
Yeah, and as a Yankees fan, having you talk about the Dodgers like they're the Yankees, it hurts. The deferred money has been covered 1,000 times. Yeah, they've broken baseball. And here's the other thing I'll say, and this is going to sound so petty, but there's no way that the Dodgers winning these 2 World Series felt, if you're a Dodgers fan, felt anything like what it just felt for the Knicks to win. Right? Like there's a certain...
They had a drought from
They won the Mickey Mouse to 2020. So that kind of like eased them into it. I just also... I don't know. Like, does it feel good to win this way? I don't know. Maybe it does.
From the friends that I have in LA, it does. Like they're laughing straight to the bank.
They felt that way. My friends in LA felt that way about the 2024 one, beating the Yankees,
Sure.
and they got the first one with the
parade.
fans.
They didn't have a parade in 2020.
Correct.
Having that parade,
But last year,
mocking Fat Joe and dancing on our grave.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They've got a $400 million payroll. Like, what are we supposed to do? Half the league doesn't have a chance. They make the Yankees and the Phillies look like underdogs, and I guess there have to be 2 parties, right? Half the league is actively not trying to spend, not trying to win, and then you have one team who is finding the loophole and they have infinite money. So, there's a lot of bad actors here. It's not just the Dodgers.
So speaking of the Yankees, as we get closer to wrapping up and last call for phone calls, I'm trying to get one call. Don't be shy. I know you guys love to call the radio. It's similar. 646-807-2992 if you'd like to add anything from the NBA talk and now the baseball talk. The Yankees are in a bad one. Like when I say a bad one, they're in a real bad one. 7-game losing streak. Before I came here, I was talking to you. I'm like, I'm waiting to see if the Yankees pull this game out as it's on the screen right now as we're talking. Man, like what a gut punch again today to rally in the 9th like they did against Boston. Ahmed Rosario, shout out to him. And then they just throw up all over themselves. They find a way to lose. Like they're in a bad one because they're finding ways to lose. And speaking of throwing up all over themselves, the team had food poisoning. Like Spencer Jones came into the game late, but he was out with food poisoning. And supposedly there's like a bug going around this Yankees team. So not only are they in the June Boone swoon, right? I thought we were turning the page today. I thought we were going to figure out how to win that game. Jazz gets on after Rosario homers. He's stealing bases. But then what happens? Volpe gets thrown out at second. and we got to bring Camilo Duvall into the game, and they get swept at home by the Tigers after getting swept in 4 games by the Boston Red Sox. And it seems like there's no end in sight. And the last thing I'll say about it as a Yankee fan, we can't get those hours back. That's what sucks about it. You sit down and you watch a 3-hour game, and then it goes into extras, and you're thinking, hey, this is it. We're going to win. We're going to break the losing streak. Come on. They got to figure it out, and they find ways to lose. And the manager, he's just going to give you the same rap.
Yeah.
You know, he pissed me off this week with you got to love this. No, you don't got to love this. You got to hate this, right? I'm still seeing clips of Kobe Bryant, right, talking about he hates losing. I saw a clip the other day of 2003 when Kobe lost to the Spurs, and immediately after, his face, he's exhausted. And what he's talking about next season starts now. Next season, the prep for next season starts today. I just hate losing. I know it is not the Western Conference Finals. I know that these are just games in June, but I'll say this before I kick it to Alex, who is also a passionate Yankees fan. The PTSD from last year, losing those games and having one game be the difference from you winning the division and having home field and setting up your pitching the way you want, that loomed large in October when we got Judge's best postseason performance. So right now, as they're losing these games, and as Tampa was behind them but went on their own win streak, this is not a good situation. They need to get healthy. They need to get whole. They need to make a trade to shake up the room. I don't have confidence in this manager. I don't have confidence in this roster, even when they do get healthy. And my biggest fear is that this is the actual last year of this window with Stanton, with Judge, with Cole. And what I'm saying is Stanton's gone. He's done, right? Stanton, he can't stay healthy. Get him up out of here and put a pen in that. We'll come back to Stan before we close. Cole now, coming off Tommy John, his first 2 outings, Garrett Cole, Cole World, no blanket. But now you're seeing him and you're like, wait, he's throwing the ball in the middle of the zone getting rocked. What's up with Cole? And then
he'll be all right.
Whether it's Ryan Weathers or Will Warren or Carlos Rodon, you don't have faith in those guys. And the lineup has gone to S now. And if it's not Ben Rice homering to save the day, Cody Bellinger has been in a bad one. Jazz in his head with everything from, getting hit in the, groin area to the lollipop. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. They're giving up unearned runs. They're not playing defense. They're not pitching. And it seems like there is no leadership to pull them out of it. It seems like there's no fire. Am I missing something? Like guys aren't even pissed off that they're losing. Guys aren't even celebrating or fired up when they do have some type of success. So I don't know how it stops, but I'll say this. Off day, great time to have an off day going into a holiday. Hopefully they get a win and come out of it, and then they can get healthy here before or after this All-Star break.
You really hit the nail on the head. You can't help but think of the Yogi Berra quote. It feels like deja vu all over again. And there's been this meme circulating where it's, off-season hype. Yankees get off to a fast start. They get swept in the summer, then they have an awful summer, then they get hot for the playoffs, and they choke in the playoffs. And that's really kind of what it's been throughout most of the Boone Judge tenure, right? Here's my glass half full part. This team will be fine. This team is playing in a bad American League. This team is missing a lot of guys. I really think they're going to be fine. Cole is coming back from Tommy John. We often see pitchers have trouble with their command when they first come back from Tommy John. My bigger issue is that you have to hate losing. And it's easy to say you hate losing. It's way easier to say you hate losing than to show it. The messaging is bad. The lack of competitive at-bats is bad. And I still feel like this lineup lacks contact hitters. And guys do not know their role enough. Guys are currently playing out of position, so the defense is bad again. They're going to be fine, but you can't help but feel like we're stuck on repeat.
So I got to push back against the word fine, and I don't mean to cut you off, but there are so many people saying they're going to be fine. Fine isn't good enough anymore.
And that's my point. Fine is not good enough anymore.
In this terrible American League, they're going to be fine.
You have to win the division, especially after the messaging after last year when you said you were so pissed off that you finished 1 game short to Toronto, so you had to play in the wild card series, and then everything devolved from there. You have to mean it. You can't throw these series away in the summer. It is agitating. It is tough, and I get what Boone is saying, that you have to love it. I know it's a marathon. baseball season is unlike any other sport where you can't overreact to one game or one series because it's 162 and you'll burn yourself out emotionally if you do. It's not working. It's not working. Every summer is the same thing. You have to look at common denominators. You have to look at patterns. It's not personal. It's just, in the words of the Yankees, it is right in front of us. The proof is in the pudding. Like, just look at it. Every single year, these patterns are the same. Something has to change. Nothing has changed. I remember last year when the season ended, I did like a eulogy to the Yankees season. And the exact phrase I said was, we just cannot run it back. We cannot run it. We have seen enough to say that this is not working. I have been a believer. It's not working in this iteration as it is. Whether we could talk about certain moves or whatever, we're not going back to the offseason. But the fact is, this is literally the run-it-back Yankees, and they got off to a fast start, and now we have the June swoon, and the defense is bad. The offense is not having competitive at-bats. The bullpen isn't good yet, has actually been better the last couple weeks. And now the starting rotation is shoddy too. So Vine is not good.
Goes on paternity leave, so
Right.
we're forced to use guys. Here, I'll say this too as we wrap up here, and last call for anybody to sneak in a call. There's a caller actually on hold, so let's go to that caller. The last thing I'll say here about the Yankees is what scares me is we're about to lock out. Baseball has changed so much in the last 10 years, it's going to change forever after this. Cole, Stanton, Judge, they're another year older. The window is going to close, and that's going to be another just failed season of these Hall of Fame caliber guys. And whose blood is that? Whose hands have that blood on it? It's Cashman and it's Boone.
Wait, real quick. With that being said, let's operate under that theory that this is their last best window, which pains me to say. Scooble, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely. And there were some people saying this just 2 weeks ago.
That was me.
Look at the Yankees pitching. They're lined up with pitching.
By the way,
They've
it's
got
true.
Cam Schlittler,
It's
Max
true.
Fried, Garrett Cole. Well,
It's true.
Let me stop you. Cam Schlittler has never thrown this many innings in his young career. He just got rocked yesterday. The game was over.
He still has the best ERA in the AL.
Yeah, and he should start the All-Star game. Are you going to All-Star game in Philly?
I think
Maybe
so.
not the actual game, but one of the
Derby.
festivities.
I'm going to try to get down there for the Derby.
I'll be down there for sure. I'm definitely going down there the 13th, maybe the 12th, but I'll check you out.
We got
down there.
Fanatics Fest too.
I know that week is a crazy week.
And then Yankees Dodgers.
And then there's like a World Cup watch party in New York on the 18th. That Saturday I got invited to. There's
The World Cup final is on the 19th.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm in for Tarek Skubal as well to keep him away from the Dodgers.
That's my biggest point.
Or whomever.
Sometimes good defense is good offense.
Yeah. Like if they get Tarek Skubal, it's game over.
It's over.
So who do we got on the phone joining us? You can just tap them in. And hey, who's this? I don't have a screen to see your name or location. So just say your name and where you're from, and then.
It's Ray from the Bronx.
Yo, what up, Ray? Ray Condi on the phone and in the chat. What's up, Ray? What's
up, Ray?
How much do you think we would have to pay for Tyree, Mr. Skubal?
For Tarek
How much
Skubal?
do you think?
You're gonna.
How much do you think we would have to give up? It would have to be Spencer Jones, would it not?
Yeah. And probably George Lombard Jr. as well, and then a bunch of other prospects like pitchers, either Elmer or LaGrange or Ben Hess, or like those the names that they're gonna want. Like the Tigers are gonna want some top prospects, and they're gonna want some top arms and some position players for Tarek Skubal. Ray, you're the man. Thanks for the call. We're about to wrap this up right here. Chef Mamba in the chat with the super chat. He says, just want to give my flowers to my boys, WKM, WAD. We've got another call before we close in the next 3 minutes here. Let's go back to the phone and see who's there. State your name and where you're from. What's up?
You're Keith.
Can you
hear me? Hopefully, hopefully it's loud and clear. Excellent. This is Lou, or I don't like to give my name out that much, but it's Leaf out here in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
First thing I want to say is I've been following you also in the chat on this date and time. So that's me. And if you saw my diatribe on Instagram on Monday regarding Soto, I will save the curses because I don't want to demonetize you in any way. So, but yeah, I kind of went off. And Monday, like I said in that Instagram post, I was not watching the game. However, my brother sent me that clip because it was immediate, that Mike Dino Instagram post of Soto and his lack of hustle in left field, man. I just could not believe it. We're paying, like you said, this man almost $500+ million to lollygag it out there. I understand that he is an awesome hitter. That's great. But if you want to be a club leader, man, you got to do everything 100% all the time. And what I see from this guy is he is all bat, zero hustle. Unless it's him trying to, like I said, smack the ball 500 feet. Outside of that, this team, the Mets, they have zero heart, zero hustle. David Stearns, oh my God, that Hector from Washington Heights shirt. I love it.
Fun prevention.
I need to buy it.
Not run prevention, fun prevention. Thanks for the call. Appreciate the call. I'll take it from here on Soto.
Hey, Keith, do you have a single memory of Juan Soto shuffling in a Mets uniform? And by the way, that's not nothing.
I don't think so. I think he did have a forced one at some point. Maybe he was, I don't know. I really can't recall. Maybe it was spring training, but his aura is zapped. Happens, you put that Mets uniform on.
I don't just think his aura is zapped. I think, look, he seemed like he was an integral part of the Yankees clubhouse in 2024.
Absolutely.
The Mets had a good clubhouse in 2024. Mm-hmm. They have had clubhouse problems since he got there. And I'm not pointing a finger, but if you're looking at timelines, they had a good clubhouse in 2024, and the clubhouse has been weird since then.
Him and Lindor have some type of a thing going on. I think it's just alpha and alpha egos. There was a report that came out from Eric Chavez about how it was hard for Soto to adjust to being a Met. Hey, all money ain't good money. A little bit of buyer's remorse for the Mets and a little bit of maybe I made a mistake here staying in New York and going to the B team for Soto. But that is what it is, and that's done and well and good. Here is what I'll say about the play that the caller was just speaking on. They're on that turf in the Rogers Center. He played with the Yankees out there, but he played right field. The Mets had the bright idea to throw him into left field this year. Switch his position. David Stearns, run prevention, fun prevention. That's not how you prevent runs, because that was the difference in that game. They lost 2-1. And what happened? Soto, who is not a great fielder, we all know that, Yankee fans and Mets fans, he attacks that ball gets by him, and then he lollygags to it. He's not hustling to it. And here comes young A.J. Ewing trying to save the day, and whoop, he loses the ball trying to throw it in, and George Springer, the Yankee killer from UConn, he is motoring home. So as we close, I'll say this about the Mets. That's none of my business. I mean, it is my business because I talk New York sports, but that is a problem that as a Yankee fan, I am smiling from ear to ear. It's a blessing in disguise that the Yankees didn't pay Juan Soto that $760 million, and they did. It is an absolute mess over there. They fired Mendoza. David Stearns got to make moves at the deadline. The Mets are absolutely cooked. Juan Soto is not a leader. He is not an A1 guy. He's a generational talent at the plate. He's not a good fielder, and $765 million is way too much for any player. But, you got Steve Cohen, the richest owner in the sport. Steve Cohen actually, did speak too, but we don't have time for it. Go check for that. Maybe on the next episode, I'll talk about what Steve Cohen said, or I'll do that on WFAN. I'll be on WFAN doing the overnight Friday into Saturday, so I'll get more into the Mets conversation as well as the Yankee conversation. That's the end of this conversation. I got to thank Alex Day, my guy.
Chief Keef, appreciate you
for coming out. I got to thank our producer over here as well, Rick. That's the first ever Keith McPherson show live from Nexus Studios in NYC. Thanks to everybody in the chat that's interacting. Make sure you hit like on the way out. Thanks to everybody that'll hear this on the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. From this day on, my podcast and my YouTube show will be known as The Keith McPherson Show. We'll be back with more guests, more takes, more thoughts. And like I said, I'm going to try out a couple different studios, and you'll probably see me do this in my home studio too. So again, thank you everybody for the support, and stay blessed, stay up, and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. I'm out of here.
Peace.
Girl, let's get real. Some pads are just diapers with a good PR team, but not the new Kotex BioCare. That's because Kotex BioCare helps defend against odor and irritants. And it's the first and only pad with this pH proactive system that helps optimize the pad's pH. Just think of it as self-care for down there. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the all-new Kotex, completely redesigned to meet your needs. You asked, we heard.